seen anything like that.
Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk the sports and other stuff like blizzards. That's right. Speaking of which, where do snowmen buy their clothing? Anyone? On the winter net. I still got it, boys. Anyway, I'm Roy Harder, the musical director, and here's your host, Mr. Eastside David McDonald, everybody.
Thank you. Applause not necessary. Roy Harder ripping off Ralph Malph with the introduction, with the I still gots it.
That's right. He was my second favorite redhead in Happy Days.
And then you got Robert Tambur, Davey Mac Sports Program here on a Blizzard Monday yet again, February 23rd, 2026. Robert Tamburo, Roy Harder, Eastside Dave McDonald, the number one independent sports podcast in the world. That's not our braggadocious comments. That's what the iTunes editorial team has awarded us with as the number one independent sports podcast in the world. Now, I will tell you one thing. We're going to talk about the Olympics, and we're going to talk about how sensational that hockey game was. But you people out there listening and watching, you people have to give us credit because this is ridiculous. The snow melted and was rained away, washed away on Saturday. 42 degrees. It might as well have been 85 in July. It was gorgeous for the first time ever, like for the first time in a month and a half.
Yeah.
You could see grass. You could see sidewalks. There were animals, birds I heard singing.
Yeah, my dogs were able to urinate on the lawn again.
See? Roy's dogs were able to go pee-pee outside properly. And everyone was in a good mood. And it literally was on Saturday. Like, that was it. And now, Sunday, and here now it's Monday, but beginning on Sunday, a brand new blizzard, Snowmageddon Part II, that's even bigger than Snowmageddon Part 1. In fact, in New Jersey, it's still snowing. I'm never getting out of here for the rest of my life. It's going to be that episode. You're going to have to really be a big-time 1980 sitcom fan to get this one. But it was like when Larry Appleton and Balky Bartakamos were snowed in their cabin in Perfect Strangers. And I believe at one point, Larry Appleton was considering eating his cousin Balky. Okay, and cousin Balky was considering eating cousin Larry. It was a harrowing episode. Folks, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going to happen. I went outside on Saturday. Everyone's like, oh, you better stock up on the food, Davey Mac. There's going to be a blizzard. I'm like, on Saturday, folks, it was 47 degrees where I live. I went out in just this giant sweatshirt, no coat, no winter. I was as happy as a clam. I was walking around. And everyone's like, oh, well, this blizzard's going to be way worse than the other blizzard. It's going to be. I go, no way. I'm literally telling people at Acme, I'm talking to the cashier. You getting ready for the blizzard? I'm like, the blizzard ain't coming, pal. And boy, oh boy, do I feel like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. I just got this one wrong because my thinking was it was, like I said, 46, 47 degrees on Saturday. I go, how the hell will it get cold enough for a blizzard? I'm like, we're only getting rain here, people. We're only getting a rainstorm, and that's going to be fantastic. That's going to wipe out the absolute last remnants of the dirty snow from Snowmageddon 1 that happened all the way back in January. And for the first part of Sunday, I was vindicated. It was just rain. And I'm like, I told you. Somewhere around 3:00, the rain turned to snow. And as of Monday, the next day, it's still snowing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's now 24 straight hours of snowing. There is a snow drift outside our front door, 35 feet tall.
Jesus.
It's a big
Mother
snow
and
drift, buddy.
Yes.
Bigger
I'm
than the
snowed in. If there's a fire, we're dead. Except I suppose I could just open up the bedroom window and slide down like the little kid from The Shining.
Yeah.
Or let some of that snow in. It melts. You got water. It can put out the fire.
I bought 2 weak-ass little. They're good meals, by the way. These take 'em to go meals at Acme, and it's chicken parmesan.
Wait,
And-
there actually is a company named Acme? I thought that was Wile E. Coyote's company. I didn't know there was an actual company named
Yes,
Acme.
the
I called it
supermarket.
Amazon.
The supermarket chain in New Jersey that I attend is Acme.
Oh, okay.
I mean, ShopRite is good. I go there sometimes, but the Acme is super duper close, right? It's right around the corner. So I go to that Acme. They got meals to go. I grabbed 2 chicken parm meals. You know, it's got 2 chicken cutlets and some linguine. And I'm like, beautiful. I ate them both already. It's over. I totally miscalculated. I had one yesterday. I had one today before the show to get
like you're
pumped
gonna-
up.
Looks like you're going to have to eat mommy next.
I don't know, but it's like Looney Tunes where like I'm looking at my little hot dog and like she's actually literally in my head turning into a legitimate hot dog. I'm like, if I just put her on a bun, and we do have some buns, I'm like, that would be, you know, if I smeared some mustard, and I am a mustard man. When I was a child, I was a ketchup on mustard guy. And then sometime in adulthood, I discovered the beauty of mustard on soft pretzels and hot dogs, and I ain't never gone back.
That's right, buddy.
Just like white women with black men. Once you go there, you never go back, is what they said. Once I went to the mustard, I'm not going to be some disgusting, pathetic jabroni eating ketchup on a hot dog. That's for the birds. So I just want to remind the Davey Mac Sports Program audience, no one loves you more than us. Today is legitimately a day where we could have called out because, quite frankly, up until literally 30 minutes ago, my internet was screwed.
Oh.
I'm telling you, dude, we've gone without power several times tonight. If I suddenly leave during the broadcast, power's knocked out. So we're going to try to come in and get out. This is going to be a quick show as opposed to what we've recently been doing. Even though all episodes, I try to clock in at 1 hour, we've been hitting about an hour and a half consistently. We might have to do a 45-minute episode. Don't hold it against us. We're doing it during a blizzard, and the power in my house has gone out 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
So you guys actually had a blizzard?
We're still having it, Robin.
Okay, because around here, I was the only one who thought we were going to have a blizzard. I was the opposite of your Chicken Little. I was Chicken Little going, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. So I went out last night, shoveled the driveway at midnight before I went to bed because it's coming. Woke up, it's perfectly clear.
Wow.
I take my pre-workout to go to the gym like I always do, get to the gym, find out they're not opening till noon. Now I've got all my pre-workout, and I get why people don't do steroids because there would have been a real Benoit type situation if I had to come home all jacked up on roids. I was already angry as it was. I think people are being lazy and using it as an excuse.
That's the truth.
A blizzard.
No, I hear you. And don't commit a Benoit situation. That's
I don't have a wife for kids.
That's too. Oh, that helps. So I do want to say, I'm sorry. I hate to pat ourselves on the back, but this is one where rightfully we could have canceled. But honestly, Robert and I do another show, Modern Day Man. I don't know how we're getting into the city this week, dude. I don't know. And then I felt like if we canceled 2 shows, I didn't want the whole they don't, because people rely on the shows, and then God forbid you take a week off because I don't know, there's a family emergency, a crisis, or a legitimate blizzard, and everyone's like, they don't. I go, I've got the best work ethic in the world. You know why? I'm legitimately only happy when I'm on the air.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, we're not going to contradict you on that one, Dave.
Yeah, get no argument from us, buddy.
I know the silence truly was deafening. I was like, no. Like,
I was going to give you a little stinger there.
And no place do I get more angry and more American than playing Mario Kart or Mario versus Sonic in the Olympics.
Ooh.
And that's where we're going to lead off. Unlike First Take, which we'll get to later. Because First Take did not lead off with the number 1 sports story in America and the world by a million miles, which was the U.S. men went out there and defeated the Canadian men in hockey in the championship game to win the gold medal in overtime, 2-1. None other than New Jersey Devil Jack Hughes, whose brother Quinn Hughes is on the team. And then Jack Hughes has another brother, Luke Hughes, who's on the Devils with him. So anywhere you look, there's always 2 Hugheses on the same team. But regardless, Jack Hughes wins it in overtime for the Americans, 2-1. And this is just 2 days after the American women defeated Canada in overtime to win the gold. And there's Jack Hughes of the New Jersey Devils. He lives in Jersey City, had a high stick to his face, lost a tooth and a half, bleeding all over the place. He instantly looked like a young Mick Foley. And he's sitting there with the blood everywhere and the teeth all completely messed up. Doesn't care at all. Overtime, he shoots, he scores, boom, America wins. He was incredible. His brother Quinn Hughes, by the way, was great. Take a look at that. I mean, his teeth are completely messed up.
Yeah.
The goalie, Connor Hellebuck, was absolutely unbelievable. One phenomenal save after another. And I got to tell you, and for the first time in 46 years, the Americans win the gold in men's ice hockey. It had been all the way back to the American team that beat Russia in the 1980 Olympics. That was the last time we won gold in men's hockey. And 46 years later, to the day, on February 22nd, it was February 22nd, 1980, where we beat Russia, February 22nd, where we beat Canada in overtime to win the gold. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Period.
Is Canada our new enemy now? Is that how it's...
Well, look, when it comes to the American and Canadian teams have been meeting up in the Olympics and in the finals a lot, where the Team Canada has defeated America in overtime multiple times. And so this was another one. America was up 1-0 until Canada finally scored, I believe, in the third period. And it's like, oh my goodness gracious, this thing's going to go over into overtime. I actually told Stanley Mack that. He was watching. We both woke up 8:00 in the morning on Sunday to watch the game. And I go, don't be surprised if this thing goes to overtime. This thing's going to be, this is going to be dramatic. Trust me. He thought I was Nostradamus. I'm like, I said to him, it's going to go into overtime and the Devils Jack Hughes is going to win it.
Wow.
I look, I know he's not here to vouch for this, but it happened.
I believe it.
Okay? This happened. Because I'm going to, of course, think the Devils guy is going to do it. So that's all.
Pre-game, you made that prediction.
I made it at 7:45 a.m. 15 minutes before the start of the game. The puck dropped at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New Jersey time. And Jack Hughes now is an absolute god in the state of New Jersey. He lives in Jersey City. People say you can always spot him and his brother drinking in the Jersey City bars.
Uh-oh.
And but these guys, Quinn Hughes, his brother, Jack Hughes, both of them with beers in hand all throughout the post-game festivities and any interview. I swear to God, they reminded me, I hate to say it, of a Canadian brother. They're here, get ready for this. But they reminded me of the McKenzie brothers, ironically, who are from Canada. But, the Strange Brew guys. First of all, they're a lot smaller than their teammates.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how tall these dudes are, but they're like smaller and they're just kind of like, hi, we just love America so much. And it was just, I can't believe what we did. Now watch this video. You can just keep it on mute this is Quinn Hughes asking for another beer while at the press conference. And here he is. And he's like, give me one of these. He's pointing to the Corona. Give me one.
Great.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I if I've never seen a Davey Mac move in my entire life, that's like, can you get me, please? I need quick, one of these.
We need to further evaluate this picture because if you look, he's got the 3/4 finished beer in his hand, but also in front of him, there's one empty Corona. And then if you go a little bit further, you could see a second empty Corona sitting here. My man is getting tanked, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. But why? I mean, no judgment. You've just won the gold medal in the Olympics on the final day, by the way, which is just so awesome. And it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, period. And then if that's not enough to get you to cry, there's this Johnny Gaudreau, who, an American hockey player, him and his brother Matthew were tragically killed. They were bicycling, and some absolute speeding asshole SUV mowed them both down.
Oh, on the road. Okay.
On the road, not on purpose. I don't know if the guy was drunk or what happened.
I thought they were on
he
the
was,
ice.
Robert?
That's what they're alleging. Yeah, I don't know if that's been confirmed 100%.
Awful. And so they take, and Johnny Gaudreau was on the team. They take out his jersey. Here's the picture. And if you see the two little kids, those are Johnny Gaudreau's children.
Oh,
they just handed the American players, the kids, over the railing there, and they had his jersey the whole time. Anytime that there was, some sort of parade or this or that, they made sure to have Gaudreau's jersey up. Oh my God.
Interestingly enough, he has a lucky number jersey, doesn't he? Number 13.
Oh,
that seems like a very I don't know.
I know. It's awful. But look at the kids. Look at the players.
Yeah.
Look at this. If you can't get behind this, you are an absolute soulless, cynical piece of garbage. And if politics have entered your brain and taken over your body like some sort of alien parasite where you no longer possess morality, then honestly, consider locking yourself in or seeking actual mental help. I'm not kidding. This isn't me exaggerating. If you can't get happy about the American team beating the Canadian team in what was the greatest hockey game I've ever seen, the Canadians outshot, by the way, the Americans, something like 41-27. I mean, the Americans were under pressure the entire game. That Connor Hellebuck, the goalie for the Americans, was incredible.
National hero, David.
And to if you can't get excited by that, and it's because of whatever administration is currently in power, but if that has so influenced you and so corrupted your brain to the point where it bothers you that Team America wins, honestly, you're the problem. Okay? This isn't a political thing. This isn't a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a You can't get happy for that. You can't get excited. By the way, the Americans' average age, by the way, they were the youngest hockey team there. They were a beer drinking, fast skating bunch of rock stars who were just friendly as hell and tough as hell. This guy got this Jack Hughes. He literally got smashed in the face with a hockey stick. And you can't get happy for that? And the only reason why I'm saying this is because a writer for the Huffington Post by the name of Monica Torres wrote,
here we go.
If waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you're not alone.
Torres.
No, I'm not going there. I'm going with the fact that headline is
disgusting,
so embarrassing that politics they've won, folks. You don't need to get all Alex Jones on us to know that nothing benefits the powers that be, both political parties and corporate America. Nothing benefits them more than us squabbling and fighting and nipping at each other and constantly being at one another rather than being unified. Because 330 million unified Americans is downright frightening to the powers that be. And things like the Olympics are actually a time where we could all be unified. Until now, apparently. It's sickening to me. It really is. It's sickening. Look, politics has taken over so many people's lives. And you go, why are you allowing this to happen to yourself? Do you not understand that you're angry and mad 24/7 and that is benefiting all of them? Do you not understand that? I am still of the mindset that sports and movies and TV shows are the true great distraction from all of the contemporary societal issues of the day. That we need a break from the constant noise coming from Washington, D.C. And this is one of those times where you can be happy. Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can be and should be happy. And if you are not, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, when did I become such a negative piece of shit? It's embarrassing. The Americans were great. The women's team was great. The men's team was amazing. America did really well this Winter Olympics. Norway was actually number one, but America finished number two in terms of, the medal count and everything like that. We won a ton of gold. But to win after the women's team defeated Canada in overtime, and then we have a rematch now with the men's team on the final day of the Olympics, and the men's American team defeats Canada in overtime. You go, I mean, this is unbelievable. And yeah, I was proud of the women's team, and I was proud of the men's team, and I'm proud of all of the Americans who went over and competed in the Olympics, and they did a great job. We have to get to we have to get to a place where little bit of breathing, calm down. Not everything needs to be about whoever is in the White House temporarily, by the way.
Yeah.
That sometimes you can drop your obsession. And if you can't, you're actually addicted to politics. You're addicted to pain. You're addicted to controversy. You're addicted to vitriol. Shame on you. And for the people trying to make others feel guilty about being happy, I was screaming when Jack Hughes scored that goal. Screaming. Going, oh my God! Screaming. Jumped up off the couch, shouting, yelling. Stanley Mac and I, huge high fives. It was amazing. It was fantastic. I was like 2 years old when the American team beat the Russians. So I never had an actual experience I can remember where the American hockey team won the gold. This is only their third gold in American history. The other two times was 1980 and I believe 1960. 60. So they say they hadn't won in 46 years since they defeated Russians, and then Russians were the semis. Who was it? Finland or Norway, or I think it was Finland that they defeated in then the finals. Who was it?
I think it was. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, Finland, right? But it was incredible, man.
Yep.
And it was just so exciting. And look, I've told you on this show, I'm an Olympics guy. I watch the Winter Olympics, I watch the Summer Olympics, and I root for all of the Americans. All of them. And that's the hockey team. And then that's the real fast guys in the summertime who, sprint 1,000,000 miles an hour or high jump or shot put, etc. I root for them all. And I don't give a damn what their race, religion, ethnicity, or anything else is. I could care less. They're representing the country that I live in. Is the country perfect? No. But I'll tell you something. We got it off a lot better than most places on this planet. And I'm sick and tired of some of this stuff.
If you can't... Go ahead, Roy.
I was going to say, even Adolf Hitler shook Jesse Owens' hand at that when he was getting that gold medal there. That just goes to show you.
There you go.
Transcends,
There you go.
And if you can't get excited about an American flag waving for these type of things, like what could you get excited for? You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you need it to be negative. Like these are what it represents to be an American. People who sacrificed everything and finally gave it all up and for one moment saw their dreams come true. You know what I mean? Like if you can't get excited about that, then you don't get what America's about.
Look, if you have issues with whatever's going on, that's okay. That's fine. But if your issues cloud you and influence you to the point where you're just angry all the time and you're a miserable, and this is for men, not just women. I remind you, I'm an Irish American and I use this word for all sexes, genders. But if you can't have a little joy once in a while, when someone from this country does something great, you're a miserable cunt. That's all. That's who you are. Deal with it. But I'm not going to allow that anymore. I'm going right now on a muting and blocking frenzy on Twitter. Oh my Lord.
What? Who are you blocking in?
For starters, I told you this last week. Vague posters who are just soliciting interactions by doing they'll post I can't believe he just did that. That's literally the tweet. And then they get a billion comments. Who's he? What did he do? What are you talking about? Context, please. Reference. Yeah. And it's like dummies. They are just soliciting interactions from you so that they can get paid. Anyone who vague posts like that, bye-bye. You're off. I blocked about 200 people on Twitter over the weekend, and I felt great about it.
Wow. No wonder I lost all those followers.
But I just won't allow people like this to rain on our parade. I'm not going to. I'm wearing a New York Football Giants sweatshirt simply because it's red, white, and blue. I didn't have an American hockey jersey. I should have bought one, and I will.
Nice, David.
Or some kind of American Olympic sweatshirt, which really would be right up my alley, quite frankly.
Speaking of parade, David, about not raining on them, maybe we should have a parade for the American teams.
Oh, you know who else had that idea? I'll pull up the tweet right now. Frequent guest on this show, Daniel Bobo Curlin.
Bobo texted me And I love him so much. He texted me, USA, 8 exclamation points. So shout out to Bobo.
That was
Because, wait, hold on. He also goes, I wish we were watching the game together so I could give you a gigantic hung. He said hung. He meant to say hug. But this is the point. Daniel Bobo Curling texting me. Even though his last name is an Olympic sport, he's watching the hockey. And he texts me, Dave, man, I wish we were in the same room so I could give you a gigantic hug. I'm gonna look past the N because hung either means he wants to murder me, or that also means ample dick size. But this is the point. He's in Queens. I'm in New Jersey. People are texting one another. People are hugging. People are going, this is fantastic. And if you can't just get a little joy and go, you know what? Truly, not everything is perfect. But you know what? There's a lot to like. There is, if not love. Sure. Can we make some improvements? Absolutely. I believe that. But I don't believe that fixing things or making an improvement to this or that just means, I'm going to despise everything. That is so lame. You're not taking into account the hundreds of millions of decent, moral people who are just working, who are just going about their day trying to be a productive citizen. You're judging everything based on whichever aisle you're on, whichever side of the aisle you're on. Doesn't matter to me. You're just basing everything on politicians. We have 340 million Americans in this country. Politicians make up 0.0001%. Are some of them or a lot of them clowns? Yes. That doesn't represent the hardworking guy at Acme who I actually talked to about the hockey. Oh, you're going to watch the hockey game tomorrow? Yes, I am, Billy. As he's scanning my 2 chicken parms and a couple of Cokes. You going to watch the hockey game? Yes, I am, Billy. Thank you for asking. Thanks for reminding me, pal. I'm going to put on a reminder on the Peacock. And let me just tell you something real quick. Peacock is going to take over as the number one sports. I won't say number one sports app, but what I'll say is they're beating ESPN now. Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
They are.
They just got, and I'll go to this in more detail. But the fact of the matter is they have Sunday Night Football. They got NBA this season. They're getting Major League Baseball this season. They have the Olympics. And quite frankly, they just have better people. Mike Tirico is gold. When are we going to give Mike Tirico his flowers? He is not good. He is great. As opposed to First Take. Stephen A. Smith and First Take open up their show today at 10 a.m. Now, do you think they opened up, guys, with the biggest sports story in the world, the Americans defeating the Canadians in overtime 2-1? Do you think that would be how most of us would open our shows, right?
It is, but
Sure.
wait, Dave, I know this is a criticism from 2000, but it's hockey, so ESPN doesn't give a shit about it.
This is the Olympics. This is truly a global event. They need to give a shit about it.
Oh, I agree.
ESPN and Stephen A. Smith opened up First Take with the following question. How far can Jaylen Brown carry the Celtics? They're talking NBA regular season basketball. Jaylen Brown And maybe this isn't fair, but I'm going to say it anyway. In terms of popularity, he probably wouldn't be in the top 10. I'm not saying he's not a hell of a basketball player. He's averaging over 29 points a game this year. He's done an amazing good job. Jason Tatum, probably the Celtics' best player, out with an Achilles when he got injured last year against the Knicks in the playoffs. And so the Celtics were not supposed to be very good this year, but at the same time, they weren't also supposed to just disappear, right? They still had a ton of really good players, and Jaylen Brown has stepped up and done a good job. But nevertheless, that's how you start your number one debate show. We're the number one show on ESPN is all I have to hear from Stephen A. Smith. We're number one. We're the best show. We're number one. And you started with Jaylen Brown over the most epic American hockey game ever. And the last time I checked ESPN, I know they don't want to be. They want to be like the Huffington Post lady, but they are an American company. And you'd think that they would understand that we open our programs with the biggest story out there. That's just broadcasting 101.
Do you think, did he mention it at all, or did he just glaze over it altogether?
It was the second story.
Okay, all right.
But it followed a nearly 15-minute conversation about Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. When we're still right in the thick of regular season NBA basketball. No, I'm sorry. That is beyond embarrassing. What are we doing? First Take? Do you hate the country that much that you're not opening up with the hockey story? Because that is just straight. Or is it because the worldwide leader in sports, they didn't have the Olympics, NBC and Peacock did, so we're going to do dirty pool? That's corrupt, ESPN. When you're supposed to be the CNN of sports, you cover the number one story in the world. I'm pretty sure on 9/11, CNN wasn't talking about, inflation. They were probably talking about the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, right? That was probably the number one story for CNN in 2001. This is my point. That's what ESPN is supposed to be. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't bury that story behind Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. And can Jaylen Brown carry this? What the hell are we doing? There is some clear and obvious corruption in ESPN. This is another example of it. We talked last week about how ESPN is burying baseball and has been burying baseball for the last 2 years, which makes sense because now Amazon Prime Video has baseball. You get used to get some baseball on Apple TV. I don't know if that's still a thing. TNT has some baseball. And also now, like I said, this year, Peacock is getting into the baseball game. So, but rather than cover baseball honestly, ESPN just buries baseball. They're in the other sports tab. The other sports tab. Now, it's on ESPN.com. You go NFL, NBA, blah, blah, blah. And then other sports. There's Major League Baseball. You know, the national pastime.
Yeah. Right next to Highlight.
I'm going to give you some statistics here. These are important statistics because I want to show you how corrupt ESPN is. Due to probably, in my opinion, Ohtani and Judge, you always need megastars, and you need megastars that people want to watch. Well, they got them, and they've got like a Beatles versus the Stones scenario because both of these guys are instant first ballot Hall of Famers. They're amazing baseball players. And so, boom, one's in LA in the National League in Ohtani, one's in New York and the American League in Judge. So Major League Baseball ratings have gone up 3 straight years.
Wow.
ESPN themselves saw double-digit gains in Major League Baseball the last 2 years. MLB TV saw a record 34% increase this past season. Meanwhile, the World Series has destroyed the NBA Finals in the ratings, total ratings, for the past 2 years. Furthermore, in case anyone wants to talk about young people, the MLB audience, the 18 to 34 demographic this past season was the highest for the Major League Baseball that it's been in 11 years. So,
Wow.
More people in general are tuning into baseball in a big, big way, but also young people are tuning into baseball in a big, big way. And by the way, on Peacock, it's still like $9 a month because Disney is such, greedy pigs. You got to buy the Disney ESPN package. And then because I'm a WWE fan, I got to get ESPN Select. It's $35 a month.
Wow. That's
$35 a month for Disney and ESPN Select, as opposed to the $9.99 for Peacock, which has all the sports now, plus the Olympics.
Didn't you forget the ESPN Unlimited as well, Dave?
Oh, that debacle.
Because,
I used to have ESPN Unlimited, and then that turned into, I was paying $30 a month, and it was supposed to be, you get your WWE pay-per-views once a month for free, and then they're like, oh, actually, no, we lied. You actually have to go to ESPN Select for $35.99. Or at this point, I think it's actually gone up to $44.99 because I had to get Hulu or something.
Was it the Australian Open that just happened?
Yeah.
And so there was a guy, he was a fan of one of the players, and he documented his subscription and what he had to do process to watch all of this guy's matches. So the first thing he had to buy on Unlimited because it wasn't on Select. Then the next match wasn't on Unlimited. It was only on Select. And then he had to get a third package because it was the whatever round that wasn't debuted on either. He ended up spending $100 to watch this guy's matches. It's just getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Listen, this is what Disney does. They go, we need to fix our park situations. Here's an idea. Don't have it a family of 4 cost literally $10,000 for a 5-day vacation, you greedy pigs. You have priced everyone out of existence. And pretty soon, see, here's the problem. I'm a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
But once I get my Star Wars show, I'm canceling this Disney.
There's this fun website, Dave, called the Pirate Bay. It might be a unique solution to your problem where you don't have to give the money to Disney and you could still enjoy everything you want.
Yeah, well, I might have to do that. They really need a change in leadership at Disney. I can't imagine the amount of things they've purchased and ruined between Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and Pixar.
ESPN.
And Pixar is, by the way, that was an ILM sub company. Okay, right. Industrial Light and Magic. So basically, that was another George Lucas company that then they bought, that Lucas sold to Disney in the early 90s. Okay, so look at all of these things that are going in the toilet. At a certain point, doesn't someone take responsibility? Doesn't someone go, whoa, we need to relax here? By the way, Walt Disney couldn't have been a more proud American. He built Main Street USA at his park as a nod to America. He built the Hall of Presidents. And it wasn't just Democrats or it was everybody. And it's insane that now, are they trying to say that if you like America, you're on one side of the aisle? Because you know what? I find that to be nauseating and totally corrupt thinking. By the way, let me also say this. They made an announcement. ESPN, by the way, is still in the baseball business. They're going to have 30 regular season games, and they're going to have some playoff games. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make sense for them to be burying baseball like this. But here's the big announcement. Ready? This is tremendous.
Let's hear it.
ESPN will be replacing Sunday Night Baseball, which they had for decades, with women's sports Sundays. I'm all for women's sports.
Me too.
But this is my point. Go look at the ratings, how women's sports Sundays does compared to Sunday Night Baseball. And let's just check back in 1 year. Because I don't know why ESPN and Disney keep making these decisions and then the ratings fail. They bury their heads in the sand and ignore actual statistics, which is Major League Baseball ratings are surging over here while the NBA ratings are dropping year over year. They are on two totally different trajectories. If you're the worldwide leader in sports, you go, okay, well, we got to talk to the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, because the ratings suck. But at least, you know, our network is benefiting from a popularity surge in baseball. At least that kind of neutralizes the drop in the ratings in basketball. They should be happy about that, not burying baseball. It's crazy how corrupt ESPN is.
Do you think this is all a political thing too, David? Just out of
I
curiosity.
don't know anymore.
Putting politics aside for 1 second,
I don't.
but putting it aside for 1 second, how offensive is this to women? Like, I won the elementary novice chess championship in 4th grade, and the trophy says novice on it because it means I wasn't good enough to just be considered the chess champion. This is the sports destination, and you're going, we have to set aside Sunday for women because they're not good enough to be a part of the regular sports we cover Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's more offensive. It's not highlighting them. It's putting them a tier below everything else and going, oh, they won't get the coverage they need unless if we give them a specific day.
And you're dooming them to fail because
Yes.
baseball ratings are going to go up. And Peacock is already doing so much better sports coverage. They're way more likable. Like I said, Mike Tirico, an ESPN sports personality for years and years. One of those guys who started as a Sports Center anchor was a Monday Night Football broadcaster for a while. I mean, Tirico's tremendous, but you know what? He's over on Peacock. The vibe on Peacock literally feels like fun. It feels good when you're watching Peacock sports, as opposed to ESPN is miserable. It's filled with the most miserable, cynical, dour, whiny bitches ever. And that's Stephen A. Smith or Ryan Clark or Mina Kimes or Dan Orlovsky or any of these punks. They're just miserable sad sacks. There's no fun anymore. And when they try to do something fun, it's always contrived. It always comes across as it's just ESPN is that soulless corporation that I don't think a lot of people could have envisioned, say, if you were watching ESPN in 1988, 89, 90, even throughout the 90s, I don't think anyone would have seen ESPN going in this direction. But then again, Disney's really is controlling it. And for whatever reason, it seems to be a pattern. Disney buys something and sucks the soul right out of it.
But how can ESPN be the place of no fun and Peacock be the new home of sports? It sounds like Peacock invested all their money into getting actual sports, and ESPN is just playing wannabe journalists. Like, why is Peacock working so well?
You know why? Because Peacock, they just have fun, and they're not all miserable. And I'll just be honest, they don't sermonize over there.
I was being sarcastic. That's my point. They bought the sports programs. They care about sports. It's not about the individuals on there trying to make a name for themselves. They want to cover the sport in the best way possible.
There's a lot of people have gotten out of their lane at ESPN in such a dramatic way that it's hardly recognizable anymore. I mean, ESPN doesn't even look professional anymore. For instance, They used the wrong picture. A tragic story here, Roy. NFL player Rondale Moore died what sadly appears to be suicide.
Okay.
It looks like it was a gunshot to the head. The only thing, and this was played on the Scott Van Pelt Sports Center, and unfortunately, the guy in that photo wearing the white number 4 jersey, if you're watching here on YouTube,
I see it.
that's actually Miles Price. It's the wrong guy. Rondale Moore is the guy in the circle wearing the purple jersey there. That's Rondale Moore, who sadly died. The guy in the photo is Miles Price. Folks, when all you care about is grandstanding and sermonizing and getting on your soapbox, it distracts you from crossing the T's and dotting the I's of sports journalism. And that's what's happened here. They have gotten so far out of their zone that they're making basic mistakes such as this. Whoever was in charge of this needs to be fired immediately. Talk about something insanely disrespectful to Rondale Moore and his family. You're putting the wrong guy. You're putting Miles Price there.
It's almost more offensive to Miles Price. I go, what do you know, Scott?
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously.
Google search in Tel Aviv 12 hours ago? What are we doing here, buddy?
Just took a little bit of research. It just took, I told this to Stanley Mac because it happened between like periods, or I saw it on Twitter between like periods 1 and 2 of the hockey game. And he is just like hitting his head like, can they ever do anything right, Daddy? I'm like, I don't know, son. I don't know what happened to this once great thing. I used to love ESPN. I used to love Sports Center. You got those two bozos who want to 69 each other in the morning. Those two guys, Gary and Randy. You know, Gary and Randy with all their little fun.
Oh, yeah.
You've got one personality after another that thinks they're the smartest person in the room, and they're actually quite dim with very little perspective on the larger universe. Everything is so egocentric. They love patting themselves on the back and bragging about their own accomplishments. They have just totally lost the plot. It's an embarrassment. It's trashy over there now. Trashy.
One other irony nobody's talking about is all these sports podcasts are popping up. Like Jason Williams, White Chocolate's on everything. Jeffrey Teague has his own podcast. And these are the guys who are getting huge numbers, but they're the same people that were demonized by ESPN in the 2000s. Like the ones that were made out to be bad guys. Now they're killing it, and they're fitting the exact paradigm ESPN wants. They're telling stories that are funny. They create controversy. It's fun. But none of them are going to go to ESPN because of how they were drugged through the mud while they were playing. Like they literally destroyed themselves.
And nor should they. You go to ESPN to die. Look at what happened with Inside the NBA. Charles Barkley had to actually call out ESPN at the All-Star break. Inside the NBA, one of, if not the single greatest sports studio shows ever with Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and Ernie Johnson, right?
Yeah, very
and
highly.
As of the All-Star break, they had only appeared on ESPN 3 times. Keep in mind, the All-Star break means, you know, they've played roughly 41 games. Actually, a little bit more, quite frankly. And so you go, wait a second. They've had how many games? How many weeks of NBA basketball? And they've been on the air 3 times, thrice? You go, oh, I see. The ESPN's burying them. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Like, I would use them as a nightly show. Get people to tune in. That people love those guys. They all have personality, but instead we're going to bury them because they're not women.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but I can say this to the American team, to the women's team, to anyone who won a medal, especially gold. Congratulations. I'm very proud of your accomplishments and couldn't be happier. That was the greatest hockey game I've ever seen, period. Done and done. Yeah, I mean, listen, and like I said, baseball, basketball, and football. I'm not going to lie. You know who I am. Those are the big three for me. But I am a New Jersey Devils fan because they're the only, sports franchise in the great Garden State, and I'm a proud New Jersey, and so I root for the Devils. And they've, won 3 Stanley Cups, and I watched them all and rooted for them all, and they were sensational and some tremendous games. But this was even bigger than that. This was the whole country. This is the Olympics. This was incredible. And I just laughed to myself, starting out with, can Jaylen Brown carry the Celtics?
I mean, I was crying about figure skaters winning the gold. That girl who had the eating disorder and came back and did it her way. Like, I don't care about figure skating. It's the humanity. It's why we all root for sports. But I do have to ask you, as a Devils fan, are you worried Jack Hughes, the guy who scored the game-winning goal, arguably the biggest goal in American hockey, is going to follow in the steps of the guy who scored now the second biggest goal, Mike Eruzione, and retire because no moment will live up to that moment?
No, because Eruzione wasn't really going to become a big-time player in the NHL. This Jack Hughes is good.
Okay, so you're saying Hughes actually has an NHL career. Just check.
What I am concerned about is that the Devils and Jack Hughes have actually been at each other's heads with a contract. Jack Hughes' agent needs to be on the phone with the Devils and be like, you're going to pay my goddamn client whatever he wants now. Because simply the amount of Jack Hughes jerseys that the Devils will sell, it will pay for the contract.
Yeah, he's an American hero.
But by the way, boys, remember how I've told you that I've attended 7 Knicks games in my life, the 7th being most recently, about a month ago. Yeah. My daughter and I went to the Knicks game, watched a fantastic game where they set a record by beating the Nets by 54 points. So I'm a good luck charm for the Knicks. They're undefeated. Well, I will let the audience know that the Davey Mac Sports Program, not too long ago, went to a Devils game. We were invited, and you don't know it. You don't need to know any of the details. All you need to know is we were invited by very important, very wonderful, and very special people into a private box. And do you boys remember what happened in that game?
The Devils won, David.
And where did they win, brother?
They won in the arena where we were watching the game, sitting in the box.
No. Overtime.
Oh, yeah, David, that game went down to overtime, and we won, yeah.
Yes, I wasn't looking for the Prudential Center, the location of the. I was going for they did win in overtime. Yeah, and now look what happens. Because Jack Hughes is on the Devils. His brother Luke Hughes is on the Devils. While Luke wasn't on the Olympic team, the third Hughes brother, Quinn Hughes, who plays for the Minnesota Wild, was on the team, and he was fun. And like I said, we go. The Devils win in overtime, and then a month later, the Americans win in overtime with New Jersey Devil Jack Hughes scoring the golden goal, the game winner. Coincidence? I think not. Don't forget, and I'm not undefeated with Yankee games because I've gone to over 200 games, but my winning percentage in Yankee games is about 700.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So you factor in a 700 winning percentage with the Yankees, undefeated with the New York Football Giants, which also includes the playoffs where I saw them beat down the Atlanta Falcons, and the Super Bowl where I saw them fuck Tom Brady. Okay? I'm undefeated with the Giants, undefeated with the Knicks, undefeated with the Devils. That was not my first Devils game. 700 winning percentage with the Yankees. I think there's something to me personally, but also the Davey Mac Sports Program as a whole for being good luck.
I'll take
and
it, buddy.
I think we gave the American team some good luck because since we were in that building, the Devils won in overtime, and then a couple of the Devils made the Olympic team, or Jack Hughes makes the Olympic team, and next thing you know, he's scoring the game winner, Robert.
I don't want to give too many details away, but is it or is it not true that both you and Roy actually touched Jack Hughes' hand, almost like you were blessing him and giving him good luck at that game?
Potentially. Let's not forget he had suffered a hand injury, but it is possible that Roy and I don't want to be heretical here, but there's no other way to say it. Similar to Jesus, when we gave the Devils knucks, we may have cured his hand.
You didn't hear it brought up once during the Olympics. That's all I'm saying.
And that is true. The very important person who had us in his box between periods 2 and 3 said, "Come on down."
Yeah.
I got a surprise for you. And the surprise was we were right outside the Devils locker room. And when they came out, we were allowed to give them knucks. They're like, "Yeah, give them knucks." And so boom, we gave them knucks. So it's quite possible that, we healed Jack Hughes' hand.
That's right, like Jesus. And actually, now that I think about it, we went out to see him walk on water. Now, granted, he was on ice and skates, but it could be conceived as a miracle.
And let me tell you something. And speaking of water, they were converting a lot of that into wine last night. Between Quinn Hughes with the... I have done that move so many times. It's just you never see someone do it at a press conference. How anyone could not think this team is the most likable group of sons of bitches of all time. Like, they were hysterical after the game.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the one guy whose lips they read? He's yelling up to either his wife or girlfriend, "Go home, I'm getting fucked up tonight."
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, I think it was, "I'm getting fucked up."
I think it was one of the Kachuk brothers. I might be wrong about that. But they were, both screaming, "I'm getting effed up, I'm getting effed up." It was so funny. I mean, I'm sorry. These guys were hysterical. On top of being the youngest team and then on top of being the gold medal winners with the greatest hockey victory I've ever seen. And then to have the kids out and the guy who died, Stanley Mac's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." You just watch television.
Yeah.
Just bawling like a baby.
Absolutely. If you weren't, you don't have a heart.
My God.
Now, we've criticized Disney a lot. I'm going to make a plea. The movie Miracle came out almost 30 years after The Miracle on Ice. Can we please get the Disney movie within a decade?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? It's funny. I went to Disney just to see what if First Take would lead off with the hockey. But before I got to the ESPN tab, front and center was Miracle, starring Kurt Russell. 2004. So you're close. Yeah, in 1980, that's 24 years. They better make this into a movie. Miracle 2. Boom.
Absolutely. My dad used the original Miracle to raise me a lot. Like, instead of like teaching me life lessons, he'd be like, "Let's see how Herb Brooks would handle this situation."
Right.
Or if I wasn't
Herb Brooks.
feeling well, he'd be like, "Last time I checked, your forearm's a hell of a long way from your heart." And you'd be like, "All right, I get it. So I need this if I'm going to have kids to raise them with it." Like, yeah, they're bothering you. Go fight them if they boo during your national anthem. Screw them. And get your brother to jump them too.
So congrats one last time to all the Americans in the Olympics and especially the women and men's hockey team. And speaking of women's sports Sundays on ESPN, you know who's going to be featured a lot is that Angel Reese of the WNBA. She recently revealed, boys, she's single, ready to mingle.
Whoa.
Now,
Shocker.
keep in mind, she does have some parameters. And I think that's going to rule all three of us out. She says her next boyfriend needs to be a minimum height of 6'7".
Ooh.
And he needs to be in the NBA.
Oh,
So we're in big trouble there.
Reese attacks Stevens.
But let me show you. Put it on mute, though. We don't need to see to hear it. Angel Reese went to she went to work between seasons, between WNBA seasons. Here's her playing in that 3-on-3 league. And they said she added a Euro step. And here's the Euro step, and there's the layup. And here's another one. And there's her. Now, those are 2 layups, ladies and gentlemen, that she didn't hit the rim. Now, I am
not a Euro
currently
That's
the first one is an attempt at a Euro step, but it's actually the worst layup I've ever seen. How you even miss the rim and just hit the backboard, and she follows it up with another garbage layup. And it's just kind of funny because, again, I want to remind everyone, currently I'm 2-0 against Angel Reese in one-on-one. And if you're saying, I don't understand, Dave, man, I challenged her in 2024. I challenged her in 2025. I said she has a week to respond. If she doesn't, I count those as forfeits, thus victories.
Oh.
Roy Harder loved that so much he destroyed his camera.
He fell out of his chair.
He pulled a Pete Townsend and just started smashing his own equipment.
Well,
but the point is,
oh, there he is. Okay.
But the point is, I'm challenging her again. Here he is. He's back.
I'm back. I don't know if you could hear me.
We can't hear you though. Talk.
Boy.
Okay.
Just
Can you
log
not
out
hear
and
me?
log back in. Don't worry. We're
see.
good. Just log back out and log in.
So the point
But here is the point. I am once again issuing a challenge. I haven't issued a challenge yet in 2026. I'm going to use this opportunity today to issue a challenge. There you are, Roy. We hear you.
Sorry,
loud and
boys.
clear.
Sorry.
No worries. But I'm issuing, Roy, a challenge. Like I said, I did it in 2024, 2025, and now here's the third challenge. I will play Angel Reese in a game of one-on-one. I will absolutely defeat her. Period.
Okay.
And if people are like, oh, come on, Dave, man, make it happen. Someone go find Angel Reese, tag her, and say, this guy's shooting his mouth off and thinks he could beat you. Because guess what, folks? I can beat her. I have proper form. You see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is called a perfect jump shot. I have perfect form. You make an L, you go straight up, and you say goodbye to the ball at the top. You get a little bit of feminine. You get a little RuPaul with your follow through. You go up, and then you go up like that. But the top should be like that. That's the shot. So perfect L, and then go up. Straight up, and say goodbye to the ball. I'm also a lefty, just like Angel Reese is a southpaw.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're going, you're coming, say, off of a screen, you're running to the right, and you grab the ball, then a lot of times your right foot will be the last step that you take. But outside of that, like there's very few exceptions. Left to your own devices, you should get that ball. You should take a little step with your right, and then your final step as a lefty should be with your left. Lefties step with their left foot and jump and shoot with their left arm. Righties step with their right foot, jump, and shoot with their right arm. That keeps your balance intact. Not only does she always step with the right foot, so that's the wrong foot, that's crisscrossed. She shoots from down here. She shoots from her hip. I would swat. I'd look like Dikembe Mutombo. I'd let her take jumpers. I would literally, back away 2 feet, and then anytime she got a jumper, boom. I'm just reaching out with my 3 feet arms, and I'm stripping her of the basketball. Her fundamentals are the worst I've ever seen. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. For a professional, male or female, she is the worst offensive player in the history of basketball. Sorry.
Can we just look at her Euro step one more time here, Dave? Because, Roy, I know you're not the biggest basketball guy in the world. A Euro step, you're supposed to go to one direction. The defender's supposed to think you're going that way, and then you go the other way. So it's a right to left.
It's like a fake out kind of thing.
Yeah. She's supposed to be going right, and she kind of goes left the whole way.
Watch her defender the minute she goes to the right, take a step the opposite direction because she knows she's coming back.
Of course.
She knew exactly what was coming. It's so bad.
Is there another clip too?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, let's play the other clip of good old Angel. And here's my point with Angel. She wants, she's single and ready to mingle and wants a new boyfriend. You know who I would date, Angel? I would date a basketball coach. Someone who can teach you how to play the game of basketball. Look at these shots. She's wide open. She's playing there's a woman who's about 3 inches shorter than her, and she's got 2 chances at a layup. Mm-hmm. She bricks them both.
Oh,
absolute terrible. Brick city. And I ain't talking Newark, New Jersey when I say Brick City. I'm talking Angel Reese. That should be your nickname. Because, I mean, this is insane. This is just so bad.
Maybe George Mikan has a son she could marry.
Finally, the Knicks were down 18 points to the Houston Rockets. They came back and won, led largely by Karl Anthony Towns, baby.
Hey.
Cat. And his 25 points, despite Robert alluding to Cat's personal habits or sexual preferences. Again, I just need an efficient basketball player. After the game, though, Shaquille O'Neal talked to Cat, and he's like, you gotta constantly, you gotta play even better, and you gotta get the credit for these wins. And Cat goes, well, I don't care who gets the credit as long as we win. And Shaq goes, wrong. You need to care. He goes, it's you and Jalen Brunson. You're the 1-2 punch. You need to care about who gets the credit, and you need to be the guy getting the credit, and you need to be the guy showing up. So my question to you is, who's right or who's wrong? Because Karl Anthony Towns was trying to say, I don't care who gets the credit. Just as long as the team wins. Shaq's point is, no, you need to be aggressive and be one of the best players on the team because you're one of the most, you and Brunson are the 2 most skilled players on the team. So you need to be one of the guys who gets the credit. Who's right and who's wrong in this scenario?
I think the credit is different from being a good player. Like it sounds to me like he's almost trying to humble himself by saying, listen, I play my best, and I don't want any accolades. To me, it sounds like that's where he's coming from.
So you're a Cat.
Yes, yeah. Whereas Shaq, he's a star player. He wants the credit. He wants the endorsements. He wants everyone to know he's the man. Fair. Whereas, maybe this gentleman is a little bit more on the humble side.
No, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is, he keeps making all-star teams with the Knicks. He is a star, but Robert, what do you think?
From a philosophical standpoint, Roy's spot on. But in practice, there's a lot more going on that makes me think Shaq's right. Like, if you watch the Knicks offense, a lot of it's one-on-one for Brunson. He's getting double team, things like that. What Shaq's saying is you need to be a presence to give Jalen the room. You need to draw that attention. It's not just for your own fame or accolades. It's so that the defense has to respond to you and things like that. But Cat has a history of being a ball hog and needing to be the attention. It was, remember when Derrick Rose scored his 50 points for the Timberwolves? Jeff Teague recently told a story in the locker room where he was like, Derrick Rose was like, I'm going to go for 50. Don't worry about it. He was like, not with Cat on the floor. He won't let that happen. And infamously, the Jimmy Butler, you guys did this scrimmage was because Cat was taking his touches and had to be the star of the team and wouldn't let him be the face of the franchise. So I think it's Cat actually showing some growth and development going, I'm in a position where it doesn't have to be about me. I'm just going to play my role.
Yeah, I like Cat because he's a different type of guy.
Oh, he certainly is.
What do you guys keep alluding to? Is there something
Robert
behind the scenes?
Robert is alluding to sexual preferences with Karl Anthony Towns, despite the fact that Roy, he has been photographed with many beautiful women. He one time painted his fingernails, and Robert seems to put him in the RuPaul category.
He also likes to say things like, hey, when he runs by the camera. He has a real high-pitched voice, unless if he's being interviewed, then it's real deep.
What if that's all mind games? What if it's like he's freaking people out, these other NBA guys? Yeah.
And
don't you remember Rodman?
It's working on me.
I'm with Cat here. I'm sorry. And by the way, I completely respect Shaquille O'Neal. He's in the Mount Rushmore of big guys of all time. It's Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaquille O'Neal as the 4 greatest centers in NBA history. Give me another one. There's not going to be another guy who's going to who I'm taking over those 4 guys. He's a Mount Rushmore NBA center of all time, period. But this was a guy who was being humble. This was a guy who was he was happy to get his 25-7.
Yeah.
During against the Rockets, he was happy to be a major reason why the Knicks came back. Like I said, they're down 18 points and Cat starts going off and they win 108-106. So
wouldn't you think also Shaq of all people might realize, hey, if you're part of a 1-2 punch, you don't want to ruin a good thing by demanding all the credit.
There you go. Shaq and Kobe had that. And quite frankly, you could make an argument Shaq and Penny had that because they were sniping at each other when Penny became a bigger star and his sneaker commercials. And they had, there's a 30 for 30 on the Shaq and Penny Hardaway Orlando Magic. It's sensational. I strongly recommend it. But one of the things that happened that started those 2 guys not liking each other is while they're on the same team. Does anyone remember the fact that Penny Hardaway had these commercials with little Penny? It was like a little puppet that was actually voiced by Chris Rock.
Yes.
And he was on one shoe company. And then Shaq represented a different shoe company. And Shaq's shoe company decided to make fun of the little Penny puppet. And so, but Penny Hardaway then took actual offense to it and they stopped speaking. And then like a year later, Shaq's like, I'm going to the Lakers. There they are.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, you are going after a man's bottom dollar there.
I kind of agree. I'm like, Shaq could have been like, hey, Penny's my guy. Penny's my bro. What are we doing? We're not going to be making fun of little Penny. Even though it is just a little puppet.
Yeah, it seems a little childish and a little bit maybe WWE.
But he left. He left.
Little puppets and use it to bring humor and joy to people. There's nothing wrong with that, Roy. I think
there's nothing wrong with that.
People who bring a lot of joy to people doing that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I would bring out little Davey right now, except currently he's under 8 feet of snow. He was, yes, sadly, little Davey the puppet was trapped outside for Snowmageddon Part II, and now he's not dead. Because as you know, puppets aren't living, breathing creatures, but he is out there, and I'm concerned about him. And that will do it. I can't even believe that we made it through the episode without my power shutting down. I'm feeling like let's just get the hell out of here because my power will shut down any second now. Robert, anything to plug?
Hey, you mentioned it earlier. Check out the Modern Day Man Show. It's on the Wits Network now. Check out the Davey Mac Sports Program. We're doing great things. And make sure you check out Torpedo, fun up-and-coming band in the Long Island scene.
Well, I mean, Roy is here. He can promote his own gig.
That's okay. I will be making an appearance in my driveway shoveling snow. So anyone is welcome to come and, low cover charge.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that I am so not looking forward to going outside and doing it because
can we go for another hour, Dave?
My back only recovered from 8 hours of snow shoveling from Snowmageddon Part 1 in January. It just recovered within the last week. And now here I got to do it again. Oh my God. Congrats to Team USA. That was something that will live with me forever. That was sensational.
Historic.
And to all the Olympians, great job. And that'll do it. For Bobby Tamburo, for Roy Harder, Eastside Dave McDonald, good night, everybody.
Thank you.